We are back once again working on kind of taking a break on this G10, I think. And Phil had dropped off some parts for our 74 Bronco. Got this in right before we moved shop. He dropped it off. He was in town. He's like working overseas or something, and he came back for Christmas, so he dropped this down. Anyway, we got it back on it. We're gonna try to make some progress on it. Been sandblasted, and looks like maybe they did some rust treatment on it or something in some spots. They did blast the hood, which I don't think they messed it up too bad. I don't know if they warped it. And then they warped the crap out of the hood because, you know, it's all oily canny. You can see it's just like, so we're gonna have to do some shrinking. You can see pushing over there, right there. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but. So that's kind of a bummer. I don't know what else you would do on one of these, but usually it's from sandblasting along here because you got, anytime your sand's hitting, it's heating up and stretching the metal. You got this real hard line to where it doesn't get stretched, and it causes part of it to move. Actually causes part of the metal to expand in a real hard line where it doesn't. So you get a lot of warpage. I think we're gonna have to send it back and just have it dusted up. It's been sitting out and open metal for too long. And I could tell some spots kind of like here, these are all little rust spots coming back through. And like they did some rust treatment here, which would stop that. And then, so we'll have to go back through, do that type of stuff too. But you can see like this here, I'm gonna get rid of that. And there's just still some stuff inside they don't like. And then like along here and stuff, and then blast this. And somebody's probably put their hand here or something, so don't know how long it's been sitting for. My understanding was at a body shop and the guy's health gone downhill, so then he got a hold of Phil and now it's here. So Phil did drop off a new inner fender. We're gonna replace this one here, and he brought these two things here, these little like bracket supports. This one dripped out and then it's rusted. So we got those right here in this box. That's the fender to radiator support brace 3-piece set. Ooh, weld through primer with primer. Maybe weld through primer. Core support brackets from Tom's Bronco, part number 2050. I don't know what the part number on these are. There's even a sticker right there. If you're interested, it's the wheel well passenger front 1940. There's a part number on that, so probably gonna work on that. We do have a new set of doors, but before we get there, we do have some floor pans to put in. And I think what I'm gonna do is start peeling some of the seam sealer, try to replace this and these, fix this core support. You can see it's got a little bit of a wonky bow to it. I'm gonna pick that up or not. And then do some hammer and dollying over in this area, fix this little pucker, straighten this out. Some of the seam sealer, we're in the air on cutting this out. Doesn't sound like he's running a fresh air vent, so that's probably going to leave. I think they're going to maybe do vintage air in this, I'm not sure. We're going to get rid of some of these screws here, and then a couple, I guess that's it. Then a couple screw holes there, these couple screw holes, and that old jack stuff there, some on that side over there. So pretty straightforward. There's still a few parts I need to take off, like they don't pull the fender brackets or the little fender bolt bar. They don't pull the radiator core support or the radiator supports. These little rubber things here off. Then we got some of these drilled some holes there. So just a few little odds and ends, and this thing will be get the fab work down and get the front end squared away, and then we'll throw the doors on it, make sure the doors fit halfway decent. Waiting on a set of hinges. They did not bring the hinges down. Usually we got to kind of tweak and open those up. So, and then after we get the door set, and I know that the body's sitting somewhat straight, core support isn't too far forward, we'll go ahead and put in our floor pan here. This is a replacement pan from Tom's. Part number, there's not a part number on it, item number 1952, and then a 2-piece passenger side there. So typical Broncos are pretty rusted, but I think what the plan is to just kind of mess around with the front of this thing here today and see how far we can make it.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it.
Inner fender out of there, and our two battery box supports. Unfortunately, the metal on the battery support is thicker than the firewall. You know, it's close to that thick, so, or the core support. So I kind of tore that up a little bit, and then I got these out. Unfortunately, that it kind of messes this up, especially since that's got about a 3/4 to 1 inch lip, and then it's flat on top, so you're fighting against that 90-degree arc, or that 90-degree bend right here. So it's going to kind of jack this thinner metal up a little bit easier, a little bit faster than it will be on that 90. So you kind of try to sacrifice the wheel well as much as you can. And the reason I didn't go from the other, two reasons I didn't go from the underneath and try to drill out the inner wheel well, instead here is just easier to get from here than it is trying to get up underneath. And also, I've already drilled all my spot weld holes for my new fender. Otherwise, I'd have to go back through and drill a bunch of holes, plug weld holes in my fender. So it's easier to do that, especially if this thing not on a rotisserie, which we have one for it. To get that wheel well off, we went ahead and drilled out with a spot weld driller. I think these are the bigger Blair ones, and we pilot hold that with a 1/8 inch drill bit. Drilled it out with this one here is a 3/8 spot weld cutter. And then I came back with an air hammer with this blade. If you run on this side, the bottom side, it'll push whatever panel you want out of the way. So there's kind of a direction. It's kind of directional. Let's find that that works a little bit better. So I'm hopefully done making a heck of a lot of racket for the next few minutes. I'll come back through and I'm gonna hammer and dolly all this as flat and as straight as I can get it. I need to hammer and dolly here, and then you need to do a little bit of work here, kind of fix some of these lips. I'll come back through once it's hammer and dollied flatter. I'll come back through with a roll lock, knock that rust down. Same thing here. Knock this rust down. I have to tap that back over. Separate this rusted piece here from this. I might just cut this and add a new piece, depending on how bad that little ear is rusted. Taking a couple measurements off of Bronco workbook here. Trying to get better about keeping notes, directions, kind of what I'm thinking as I go. Just easier in a way to do list as far as what we need to take, parts I got, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Anyway, I kind of drilled this out. This is the wheel well, and this was the inner fender well apron core support. And we're 4.5 inches from here to this edge, about 4.5 inches over to that first little, which this will kind of dictate where this is at, but I wanted to get it somewhat parallel with our fender. So it's kind of a little plan. I'll probably grind this down because there's some kind of a coating on there. Same thing on the inside, and then the one back here, and then I'll probably just go ahead and buzz that whole thing down with like 180 or something, because I'm not going to be able to get in here very well with a sander once that wheel well's in. Basically, it kind of looks like that. So that's kind of the goal for the next little bit. See if I can get this wheel well in there, set in, and hopefully I won't run out of gas in my welder because it's very close to being out. And yeah, we'll see if we can't make some progress on this 74 Bronco.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I'm cutting out the old supports, cleaning the fire core support up, cleaning and grinding and rust treating the inside of here, and I had to cut this bracket off and kind of change the angle on that. But our angle of the dangle here, so on the passenger side, I changed that. So, but looking at our angle finder, we're kind of depending on where I put it. The fender's kind of got a little bit of a whoop from these here, so just get it close. But we're pretty centered there on our level. The core supports kind of same thing, depending on where you put it. It's a little like pretty close there. And then probably a degree or two off, and then this one here. So depending on where you put this, it's pretty close. So both those fenders probably sit in about a degree or two. Just close enough. It kind of depends on where you put it. You put the thing back here, it's just right on the money. The front to back, you see, it depends on where you put it. To the side, tilted back just a hair. You kind of tweak on that a little bit, and I think the same thing here. We're just a hair towards the back. Just a hair towards the back here too. We are within a degree or two front to back and side to side, and that's probably better than the factory. Or damn near as good. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I still need to grind some of this, but it's about 5:30, 5:40 on a Thursday. So I'm gonna call this video done here, and I will see you guys in the morning.